Hi, Cecil.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm Asher Glick.
I'm Beth Towns.
We're working on a project called Briefcase. The last time we presented, we basically just talked about what our concept was and showed a small demo. So far, we've progressed quite a bit. It's a lot of fun. I've learned JavaScript, and I still don't know JavaScript.
So,
Yeah.
one big problem with progressing so far is he's progressed a lot, but the server kind of died. So I've been working on the back end, and since the server died and Asher hasn't fixed it yet, I haven't really done anything different since last time on the back end. So I don't have anything to show for that. I mean, right now what it does is like you can log in and it tells you you logged in, and that's really boring to show. So.
Whenever I try and turn the server on, it's like, I'm on, no I'm off. And then it doesn't do anything for the next hour.
So anyway. Is that how this? Oh, so this is what I was gonna do if the server was still working. I mean, Django pretty much handles this pretty well, the saving and loading on like user accounts, but I was gonna implement all that so that you could actually take what Ash has been working on the front end, save it, you know, he's gonna send it to me in whatever Ajax form or whatever you're gonna do. And I was gonna save it and then be able to, you know, load it up from a user account without other people getting to it and stuff like that. But for next time.
So we'd like to show you just a demo of what we've been doing. And
Let's get it ready.
Zach, you are good at JavaScript. We're going to need you to come up in a second. Not now, not now.
Are you gonna try to break it?
No. I'm good at breaking stuff. Okay, so this is what the spreadsheet looks like right now. Everything in that actually looks like the spreadsheet, not the formula bars at the top, is all rendered in a canvas element. The elements at the top are just two divs that are not buttons, even though they look like they might be buttons,
Going to be buttons.
and a text box. That's familiar to people who have used Excel or Google Docs as the function bar. It just doesn't have the nice little fancy F equals next to it. So you can click on a box and you can type things in it. And it'll just save it to the cell. And now you can actually click on the box again, edit what's in the cell, and now you've misspelled your words. You can also do simple arithmetic with the same method that you can in other spreadsheets. So if you type equals, and then let's say 1 plus 1, it'll give you 2. If anybody thinks that math is wrong, please tell me, because that's the math that I've learned for my entire life. But you can also mess with some things and do complex multiplication. Very complex. And
Can you do mod arithmetic then? 1 plus 1 mod 2.
no, modulus does not work.
Mod is not in there yet.
But I'm going to get to why that doesn't matter so much right now in a second. So you can do nice, even complex things with parentheses. You can also add strings. No, you can add them. So you can get 1 plus world equals 1 world. Pretty simple. Along with that, you can add strings together, and they just concatenate. In a lot of other things, specifically Google Docs, in order to concatenate strings, you have to create an array, concatenate the array, and set each element of the array delimited by semicolons. And it's really confusing, and I don't really like it. The last thing that we added was that you can call functions. So if you call sum of 1 plus 1 plus 1, you're going to get 3. Yes, you can nest functions. Each argument of the function is analyzed itself. So if you do sum of 1 and sum of 1 plus 1, you'll still get 3. Very complex math.
Actually, I thought you were going to change the font, one color of hello to be red, another color of work
Yes.
to be green.
After
Yes.
we get all the mathematical stuff working, we'll work on color.
Can you sum text?
Yeah, you can sum text, and it's going to work the same way as concatenating text. And this is going to be backwards because I typed it wrong. And because the sum function is written in JavaScript, It literally does whatever you want.
Sorry, just trying to wrap my head around just blending types like that.
Yeah, it just does it. You don't know how.
That's not a good thing.
Well, it can be a good thing if you know how to handle it.
I don't know if JavaScript knows how to handle it.
Yeah, there's actually a problem that I've run into with that. With if you have a blank cell and you're trying to set a value equal to the blank cell, it will either return to you a string or a 0, so an empty string or the value 0. If you try and add, like you add 1 then add 2 to a blank string, it'll give you 12 as a string, which is wrong. And if you try and add a string to 0, it'll give you 0 and then the string. So that's one of the problems that we're trying to fix by incorporating a null value, which kind of exists but causes errors, and isn't very nice. The way of quote-unquote using classes is the same way that you normally would. So if I'm trying to call the min method from the math library, it's math.min and then 1 and 100 will return the lower value of whatever I pass into it, and it'll take in an arbitrary number of arguments. And all of this is
When did you do that?
I did it while I was sitting on this side. It's awesome. I love it. It's my new signature. It's going on the top of all of my code.
Oh, that's longer than your code.
Yeah, it's longer than my code. I actually made a function to return that to me, so I can just copy and paste it whenever I want. Alright, but regardless. Alright, so Zach, I have not talked to you before this meeting. Well, I mean, obviously I've talked to you in the past. But you know JavaScript. Okay, just come up here. I can't get this window to resize. And Zach is going to write a function that I've never seen before.
It's gonna break.
These are all the functions that are currently implemented as user functions. So the sum function. What? Oh yeah, yeah. I should probably explain to you the format. So as you see, all of the function names have one word underscore the function name.
Why don't you go to the slide?
Yeah, we could put a slide with it.
I don't know how to work this crazy. I'm just saying, where'd you put the...
I don't know, it's somewhere. Okay, so all of the function names are the second element of the actual function name. The way I implemented it right now is it does class name underscore function name. I came up with that while I had 102 temperature, and if anybody can think of a better way to do something like this, please tell me, because I would love to talk to you after the meeting, Colin.
Do you want me to go back?
So if you write something with the class name of default, you can call it using default.sum, or you can just call sum, as I showed you earlier. So go back to the text document.
How do I go back to this? I don't know how to do
Tab.
this. Alt-tab. Alright, got it. I feel like
There we go, alright.
Okay.
So,
It's a lot of tabs.
like this is the minimum function. It will take in an arbitrary number of arguments, parse through the arguments, find the minimum value, return the minimum value. It's pretty simple. So, why don't we have the group figure out what question you should write?
Nothing too complex, guys. It's Friday.
Anybody have a nice, simple, mathematical?
We'll just do
Yes.
Return 4.
Return 4.
No. You have to take the square root of it.
square root.
Square root of...
All right.
Yeah, square root.
You can use that one.
This is all because I do not know what the square root
After all,
of
being a nerd school, registered nerd school, you have to have square root somewhere.
Yeah, it's true.
So you can kind of copy the POW function except make it worse.
Right.
In the actual file, like as you're editing the text document, one of our future plans is to make it so people can write their own functions while they are writing their spreadsheets. JavaScript has a nice method.
But you should probably, some of these things, you should hide these function names to make it more user-friendly for normal people like
Yes, which is what I'm talking about right now.